Yes. All right. We're doing it, man. Back again. Loving it. Love being here. Love being on live. All right. Chinksey Sports Presents the Premier League Show, episode 4. This is the last game week. This is the last round of fixtures before the international break. We're going to have a 2-week break, if you like, whilst England and them man play. Hate the international break. But the significance of the fixture before the international break is you can inflict serious damage on your opponent. Like, basically, if you lose before the international break, you're going to be thinking about that defeat until your next game. So, in essence, you're going to be stressed about your defeat if you lose before the international break. You're going to have to hold that for a good 2 weeks. You feel me? That's what United fans are going to be feeling, you know what I'm saying? But we'll get to that. But yeah, right, so what I'm going to do is what I usually do. I'm going to run through the fixtures. I'm going to run through the results of last week, starting at Stamford Bridge last Friday. And then I will go through the upcoming fixtures and I'll go through my predictions. If you guys, what's the word? Listen to my previous podcast. A lot of the things I said, I predicted. Listen to the previous podcast. Anyway, right, starting at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea v Luton, comprehensive victory for Chelsea. I'm sure comes at no surprise. I'm sure a lot of people would have thought Chelsea would get their season off to get their season started really, and then go on a little run. Raheem Sterling was fantastic in that game. He's kept up his early season form. He's been really good in previous 2 fixtures against Liverpool and West Ham, even though they lost the latter game. But no, he was electric. He was playing off the right wing. He's just like attacking the fullback, getting into the box, scoring goals. And yeah, he's looking really good. Unfortunately, he missed out on the England call-up. Don't know why. But I feel like Gareth Southgate is that kind of manager that once you're in, you're in. Once you're out, you're out. So basically what I mean by that is when Gareth Southgate trusts you, he trusts you. When you lose his trust, it's hard to get it back kind of thing. So like people like Maguire, Pickford, Grealish, them man there, they're like fixtures in that side. People like, what's his name? Madison. Certain man had to fight to get in there. So obviously now Fikayo Tomori's got in there. I'm sure he's going to be in many squads going forward. But I mean, people were baying for him to be called up for time. But anyway, this isn't the England show. But yeah, listen. Chelsea did really well. Got off to a good start with a couple early goals. And yeah, I'm surprised Sterling isn't like the captain or at least vice captain. They've gone for Reece James and Ben Chilwell. I'm not sure why Ben Chilwell is vice captain. I would have thought they would have given it to Sterling for many reasons. Like he's got a lot more experience. He's got Premier League. Well, he's a multi-Premier League winner, and he's a leader as well. So I'm surprised he's not the captain, or at least vice captain. But no, he's got off to a flyer, and yeah, it was a good victory for Chelsea. Luton, however, their season starts today against West Ham, where they can finally play a home game. So it'll be interesting to see the Kenilworth Road crowd get up for that game. As obviously, I'm sure they will be in all the home games this season. They're gonna be getting right behind the team, and they might even pick up something today. I got a gut feeling. I got a sneaky feeling about Luton today. They might do something against West Ham. But anyway, Chelsea 3, Luton 0. The next game was Bournemouth against Tottenham Hotspurs, which was a lunchtime kickoff. Tottenham took a 2-0 win. They looked really impressive though. I can't lie. This new football that they're playing, attacking football, fluid. Destiny Odugwe or as a left back's playing really well. I don't know why people keep saying Odogu. It's not Odogu. It's Odugwe. He's Nigerian, but yeah, he's looking really athletic, pacey, energetic, and that's summing up Tottenham as a whole. Really, they're looking really good. Their B team, however, is not quite as good. Ask Fulham. But yeah, no, Tottenham are looking decent, half decent. They've changed their style of play. There's more emphasis on other people like Maddison, Son, Kulusevski. Richarlison's not really got off to the greatest of starts, but yeah, Tottenham played really well, and really they should be beating Bournemouth anyway. So it was a good victory for them. I feel like Bournemouth are trying to kind of change their style. They sacked their manager, what was his name, Gary O'Neill, last season for Iraola, the Spanish manager, and they're trying to play out from the back and that, because obviously he did that with his previous side, Rayo Vallecano, team that lost 7-0 on Monday. But yeah, I feel like they're gonna lose a lot of games this season, and I've actually tipped them for the drop. I think they're gonna get relegated, and I think this manager is gonna be sacked because I just don't think they got the personnel to be playing this type of football and get results. So 2-0 to Spurs. Bournemouth looking in trouble. The next one was Brentford against Crystal Palace. Two evenly and well-matched sides. However, I feel like Palace would have taken the point more so than Brentford. Brentford started the season really strongly. Got a few good results already. Beat Fulham, drew with Tottenham. But I feel like I feel like these two sides are mid-table sides. I mean, they're probably going to be within 3 places of each other. They're missing their respective talisman in Michael Elise and Ivan Toney. And I just feel like both, especially Palace, are ticking off the games until they get them back. I'm sure Elise probably will be back after the international break so they can have more creativity. But until then, they're just really prodding along. And they just cancelled each other out in a 1-1 stalemate. Next up was Arsenal against Fulham at the Emirates. Wow, I'm still recovering from this result. It feels like we lost, like I said on my Arsenal podcast, but it was a draw. And the reason why it feels like a loss is because when you're going up against Man City, you pretty much have to win every week because they're going to invariably win every week. Therefore, drawing at home to Fulham is unacceptable. Congratulations though to Eddie Nketiah on his first England call-up on the back of his early season form for Arsenal. Already got 2 goals and assist. He's the all-time under-21 record goal scorer for England. And his just attitude has been exemplary for any footballer to replicate. And I feel like Gareth Southgate has rewarded all of the above and given him an opportunity to stake his claim for a spot in the squad for the summer, for the Euros. Whether he gets on the pitch, I think he will actually, to be fair. It's not going to be one of them ones where like he's in the squad but won't feature or get like poxy minutes at the end of the game. I feel like I think they got a friendly and a game against Ukraine. Is it Scotland they're playing? I feel like he could potentially get a start in the friendly, and I'm sure he'll come on in the Ukraine game. So obviously, yeah, well done to Eddie. But back to the Arsenal game specifically, I actually found out last week that Fulham have never beaten Arsenal away from home, and that's ever at Highbury or the Emirates, which is alarming. So you would have thought we would have asserted our dominance on them, and it would be another win. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Arsenal gave away an early goal in the first minute to be exact, and made life difficult for themselves. They managed to get 2-1 ahead before being pegged back by Fulham from a corner, and they were down to 10 men. Calvin Bassey saw red. I think it was his debut in that game, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, Fulham. Props to Fulham. They managed to grind out the result and see it out. And you could argue, in a way, they probably deserved it, because if you're down to 10 men and you manage to equalise, then fair play. So yeah, Arsenal 2, Fulham 2. Similarly, Man United against Nottingham Forest was a bit of a slog of a match. Man United went 2-0 down in the opening 10 minutes, and it looked like a coupon buster, especially when I saw Man U and Arsenal both going 1-0 down at home in the opening 5 minutes. I was like, what is going on here? But I did expect both to turn it around and win. Only United managed to. Especially once Christian Eriksen got the first goal for United, you could only see one outcome, which was a United win. The second goal, though, that United conceded, it was a shambles. From their own corner, they managed to get counter-attacked on, and there was no defender on the halfway line, which is normal practice. Marcus Rashford gave man like about a 10-yard head start, almost caught him, but it just looked a shambles, really. I mean, I actually remember United conceding exactly the same type of goal under Solskjaer about 3 years ago, if I'm not wrong. I think it was in a Europa League match. I know the team as well, but I'll have to think of the name. But forget it, all that. But yeah, no. To be honest, though, props to United for showing good resilience and recovering that game and winning it. That, like I said, that's what United do. It's in their DNA. They don't need to play well to win. They always manage to kind of grind out a result, because their fans will just not accept drivel like that, and they often pull them through. So it was a good win for United, and they go into that game against Arsenal only 1 point behind them, despite the uproar of how bad they've been playing. The next game was at Goodison Park, a pretty drab game, not amazing, but nothing more than what I would have expected. I thought it would be 0-0. It was 0-0 up until the last 10 minutes, if I'm not wrong. Everton against Wolves. Wolves managed to pick up that win, 1-0. It looks like they have actually turned the corner on their season. Couple beatdowns. Well, not a couple, but they got destroyed by Brighton at Molineux. But in fairness, they've had 2 wins since then, 2 clean sheets, I think. They beat Blackpool in the cup. They beat Everton away, and they go into that game at Selhurst Park against Crystal Palace, with confidence, looking like it's on the up. But this game was a bit of a bitty game. Both sides clearly lacking confidence. Obviously not started their seasons great. Everton, though, still seeking their first goal of the season, let alone win. And they've obviously just sold Alex Iwobi to Fulham. It's not 100% confirmed, but it's going to get done later on today. And I think that's a fantastic signing for Fulham. I feel like he was their... I wouldn't say... Is he the only creative player? Probably was, probably is. But he's their most creative player anyway, I'll say that. So now for them to get rid of him, it's looking... Their squad's looking a bit championshipy, you know what I'm saying? It's looking a bit championshipy. Bah. But yeah, I feel like Sean Dyche is under severe pressure to turn things round, and you really don't want to be going into that Arsenal game after the break still goalless and still winless. But we'll get into that a bit more once I talk about the Everton fixture for this week. But it's not looking good, bruv. The next result was Brighton against West Ham, a 3-1 reverse. West Ham managed to get a fantastic away win with nothing amazing, but it was a great tactical. Well, it wasn't great, but it was. How can I sum this up? I feel like it's horses for courses for this kind of game. It was like two opposites. Brighton trying to play this fancy inverting football, passing, playing out from the back, new school, sexy football, whereas West Ham rugged, win at all costs, long ball, dark arts, physical. You know what I mean? And horses for courses, like I said, West Ham managed to win. And if you actually go back to my last podcast, I did mention that I thought West Ham would beat Brighton for the above reasons, and they managed to do it. I didn't think it would be 3-1. I thought it would be a 2-1, but nevertheless, West Ham managed to win despite only having 20% possession, which is crazy. But to be fair though, Alphonso Areola made some out of the world saves, man, especially towards the end of the game. Like Brighton could have easily got a draw out of that game. But I feel like I want to give special praise to Jared Bowen and Mikel Antonio, who's going to be playing actually in 14 minutes from now at Luton. They've started the season really well. I mean, the finishing had been exquisite, especially Antonio. Like, he's started the season really well. It's impressed me. Bowen's first touch really was excellent as well. I didn't think he had that in him, but I'm keeping an eye out from them two. I feel like they'll get on the score sheet today. Jared Bowen started the season like he ended last season. He's obviously what's the girl's name again? Danny Dyer. You know what I'm saying? His new family's obviously spurred him on, and now he's going on to the next level. But maybe he's probably thinking he can get back, he can squeeze himself into that England squad. I mean, if he carries on like this, he will be back there before too long. But as I mentioned already with Gareth Southgate, once you're in, you're in. Once you're out, it's hard to get in. He's one of them, man. You get me? But yeah, fantastic win for West Ham. And if I'm not wrong, if West Ham win today, they go top. Yeah. If West Ham beat Luton today, they go back to the top of the league, having played a game more than City and Arsenal. But yeah, good win for West Ham. Next up was, what's Sheffield United v Man City, isn't it? Sunday at 2 o'clock, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Man City managed to grind out a 2-1 win against Sheffield United. However, the scoreline didn't reflect the game. I mean, Man City played them to death. I mean, passed them to death. But I don't know. It was almost a draw. That was crazy. Football's like that, innit? Like you could argue it almost happened to us against Nottingham Forest, where like you control the game, you dominate the game, you have so many chances, you miss a penalty, and you could almost draw it or lose it. But basically Man City went 1-0 up after Haaland missed a penalty. And then Sheffield United got a late equaliser and it looked like it was going to end in a draw. However, Rodri had other ideas. He managed to get, the Spain captain managed to get himself another goal. He pops up with some vital goals, to be fair. Got the winner in the Champions League final to secure them the treble. And obviously he's clearly the best defensive midfielder in the world. But I think there's a new question. Where does he rank amongst the best players in the world? And then another question is, where does Rodri rank amongst the best midfielders in the world? And I think we're talking top 10 for both. Right. So yeah, next up was at Turf Moor, which was Burnley against Aston Villa. Ended 3-1 to Aston Villa. So I got that spot on. I got that prediction spot on. I feel like Aston Villa looking devastating now with Moussa Diaby looking like one of the signings of the season. He's looking electric. But France still think they're like, the thing with France, they're moving bougie with their team selection. I mean, how can you not pick Moussa Diaby in the France squad, but you're picking man like Ousmane Dembele and what's his name, Kingsley Coman, who are a bit erratic. They're excellent on their day, but then when they're not at it, they are a bit wayward. And you're leaving man like Musa Diaby out. I don't understand Deschamps sometimes. But anyway, more on the game. Yeah, I feel like Burnley are gonna take a few of these defeats. Just more because of the type of football they're trying to play. They're trying to play. They probably tried to play against Aston Villa, who have the players to do you on a counter attack. They got a lot of pace. They got a solid midfield and some really good defenders. People like Ezri Konsa, um, people like Pau Torres, good tackling defenders, solid, pacey, athletic. And then they got people like Diaby and Bailey on the wings with Ollie Watkins. That's a lot of pace there. So really, they don't really need to have the ball to do damage to you. And they've started the season really well. Aside from the Newcastle beatdown they've had, they've really turned it round and they're just scoring goals for fun. So Aston Villa look like they're a team to watch out for, but I still don't have them in my top six. But I think they're gonna do really. They're gonna have a good season. They're gonna score a lot of goals and be exciting to watch. But I don't think they're gonna be in the top six. The next one for me is definitely gonna be a game where you look back on the season and remember for it as being the Darwin Núñez show was at St James's Park with Newcastle against Liverpool, a classic match. So basically, the game will be remembered for Newcastle going 1-0 up against 10-man Liverpool. Obviously, Virgil van Dijk was sent off. I think he was shown a straight red. And then obviously, Trent Alexander-Arnold didn't really start the game well. So Liverpool on the ropes. I feel like the turning point of the game was when Alisson made that out of this world save, showing why he's arguably the best goalkeeper in the world. But Newcastle let the cat out of the bag. They didn't kill off the game, and once a game is 1-0, you allow the opponent to hang in there, they can now throw caution to the wind in the last 10 minutes and nick the game, and that's exactly what happened here. Liverpool grew in confidence. Jurgen Klopp rolled the dice and brought on Darwin Núñez, who's obviously smarting from being dropped. And he got two absolutely fantastic goals. Took his goals really well. Yeah, he took his goals really well. Two fantastic strikes, and I'm sure he's going to start the next game for Liverpool. I just want to side note Newcastle. They can't keep doing this. They can't keep losing to the big sides if they want to consider themselves a big boy now. So it's a top 7 now, but they can't be losing to Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal week in, week out. They've lost 2 games in a row, and they've had a tough draw in both the Champions League, of which they're in a group of death, alongside Dortmund, PSG, and AC Milan. And then they've had a nightmare draw in the Carabao Cup as they host Man City. I fancy them to win that though. I'll have you know, I fancy them to knock out Man City. But we're really gonna find out what Newcastle are made of this season, because I got a question for Newcastle fans. What constitutes a good season for you, man? Like, do you think you can qualify from the Champions League again this season? Because I've stated all along I don't really rate Newcastle squad like that. They've spent a lot of money on players that other big teams wouldn't really be queuing up for. People like Harvey Barnes and what's that right back's name? Livramento and people like that. They're squad players. I don't think they enhance your first team like that. Tonali definitely does, but I mean, do you know what I'm saying? For me, Newcastle, they'd probably won a few cup runs, maybe a trophy, and they probably want minimum Europa League football, European football for sure. Top 6, they'd probably be aiming for, top 6, top 7. But whether that's gonna be enough for for the Newcastle owners, especially on the amount of money they spent this season. I'm not really sure. So Eddie Howe's got his work cut out, and he needs to start beating these top sides because they can't keep losing to Man City and Liverpool every time and expect to be considered as a big club. Right, so that was that for last week's results. When I move on to the fixtures, starting at Kenilworth Road with Luton against West Ham, which actually starts in 4 minutes' time. And I need to watch that game. But I think this is gonna be an interesting one. I wouldn't be surprised if Luton nicked this 3-2. For me, I've gone 3-2 either way, but I'm gonna edge west towards West Ham. I reckon West Ham will probably be like 3-1 up or something, and then Luton will get a late consolation. But I'm gonna go for a West Ham win. I think the form that Mikel Antonio and Jared Bowen are in, I expect both of them to get a goal. Lucas Paqueta's looking excellent. And obviously they've brought in Mohamed Kudus, who's on the bench. I've just seen the team sheet. Kurt Zuma captains the side. But yeah, I expect West Ham to win that one. Just about. I think it's going to be an entertaining game. I think Luton will go for it. But I think West Ham will have too much for them. The next game is Sheffield United against Everton. It's looking ominous for Sheffield United. They're struggling. I think they've lost every single game. But then again, so have Everton. But this is a relegation 6-pointer. These are a lot of people who have tipped Everton to go down. I don't think they will. This is a horrible game. This is one of them games that will be last on Match of the Day. Sheffield United against Everton. Bloody hell. That smells like a 0-0. I'm gonna go 1-1 because I just don't think Everton could keep firing blanks. I'm gonna go 1-1 at Bramall Lane. Man City against Fulham. I think sooner or later someone's gonna get a real hiding from City, but I don't think it's gonna be Fulham. Something's telling me 2 or 3-0. I'm gonna go 3-0. I think Haaland probably get a couple goals in that game, and yeah, I'll go 3-0. 3-0 Man City. Chelsea against Nottingham Forest. I can't see anything other than a Chelsea win. I feel like Nottingham Forest will be one of them sides that don't travel the best, but at home it's going to be a bit of a fortress. So therefore, it's looking like a Chelsea win. I'm going to go 3... I feel like Nottingham Forest got a goal in them. I'm going to go 3-1 Chelsea. And I think Nicholas Jackson and Sterling will score again, like I said last week. Burnley against Tottenham. See, once again, like I mentioned earlier about Burnley trying to play this football, this expansive football with Vincent Kompany. I don't think you could do that against sides like Tottenham, as Bournemouth found out to their undoing last week. I can't see anything other than a Spurs win. It smells like a 2-1, 3-1 type of game. I'm split between 2-1 Tottenham and 3-1. I'm going to go 2-1 Tottenham. James Maddison's balling out, and I think I'm waiting for Son. Well, not waiting for him, but I feel like Son's going to come good at some point and start scoring. And I feel like maybe this is the week he does get on the score sheet. So I'll go 2-1 Tottenham. Brentford against Bournemouth. Ooh. It's a game that Brentford should be favourites for and should expect to win. Something's telling me it's going to be a draw, though. I'm going to go 2-2. 2-2, yeah. Brighton against Newcastle. It's an evenly matched game. Could go either way. Newcastle could win, but then so could Brighton. So when a game's like that, you just lean towards a draw. Newcastle definitely can't afford to lose this game because that will be their third on the spin after they played Man City and Liverpool. Brighton, however, will be smarting from their defeat at home to West Ham and will want to put things right ASAP. I'm going to go 1-1, another draw. Crystal Palace against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Okay. Wolves. Palace against Wolves. You know, I fancy Wolves for this one, you know, I can't lie. To go to Selhurst Park. And Crystal Palace are heavy favourites for this game, but there's something I like about Wolves. They've got a lot of these Portuguese players with flair and that. I think they're gonna win. I've got Wolves to win that 2-1. It's gonna be a shock win, but I think they can win it. They're on a little bit of a roll now. Obviously, they've sold Mateus Nunes to Man City, but I feel like there's enough there to do something. They impressed me against Man U, and they haven't been as bad as the league position suggests. I mean, they did get hammered to Brighton, but Brighton have done that to Arsenal in the past, so I'll give them a blythe for that. I'm gonna go 2-1 to Wolves. Liverpool v Aston Villa. If Arsenal weren't playing Man United, that would have been the game of the weekend. So that's gonna be now a game I'm gonna be looking at really with a keen eye, very intently, to see how Aston Villa fare against another top side. Because we saw what happened when they played Newcastle. They got absolutely obliterated. But now they head into Anfield on the back of some 3 or 4 good results. Obviously, 2 of them against Hibs, but then two are in the league, and they're just scoring bags and bags of goals. Ollie Watkins is looking good. However, you go into Anfield. Liverpool started the season pretty well. They'll be buoyed by that victory at St James's Park, and would now, if they can win this game, they will be like really confident of a title surge. I can't look beyond the Liverpool win, but I feel like it's gonna be an entertaining game. Like I feel like there's gonna be goals in this game. I could see a 4-2. I'm gonna go 4-2 to Liverpool still. Yeah, Liverpool 4, Aston Villa 2. And obviously, what what a place to end the podcast. Arsenal against Manchester United. Where do I start? Game of the weekend. For me, it's the biggest game of the season. At the Emirates. Arsenal against Man United Sunday afternoon. I feel like it's a game that Arsenal will be quite strong favourites for many reasons. The form of the two sides, I feel like Arsenal are a better team at this moment in time than Man United, and it's gonna be an entertaining game. I feel like there's gonna be goals in this one, so I can't look beyond an Arsenal win, and I'm gonna go 3-1 to Arsenal. Right, that's that. The next episode is gonna be after the international break, so it's gonna be a while away. So yeah, that's that. I'll see you after the international break. Peace.